Everybody. I'd like to start with my first video to talk about actresses who are nice as opposed to naughty. When you work with people who are very famous, some are great, some are not so great. I think the ones who show up and are great to work with is because they're very confident with who they are. They don't have to throw attitude, they don't have to be difficult because they're comfortable with themselves, they're comfortable with their talent. They don't have to prove anything to anybody by demanding things or being difficult. The first one I want to talk about is Elizabeth Taylor. She was fantastic. This was many, many years ago. This was in the early 2000s. A model I represented was hired to be in one of her commercials for her perfume. I think it was White Diamonds. And he was under 18, so we had to be on set with him. So I flew out to LA to shoot the commercial with him. The director was Herb Ritts. And Elizabeth Taylor, being Elizabeth Taylor, she was 2 hours late. She's always late. I mean, notoriously for being late. But this was when Elizabeth Taylor was her full Elizabeth Taylor self. And if any of you know about how commercials work or sets work, usually the actors show up, they get hair and makeup on set and get in costume on set, but not Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, she had her hair and makeup done at home, obviously. She got in costume at home. And all the jewelry she wore in those commercials was actually hers. And those were her real diamonds, her real jewelry that were gifts from Richard Burton or other people in her lives, in her life, I'm sorry. So, you know, and sound stages are like these huge warehouse spaces. They're gigantic. And they have big sliding like barn doors that open. They're like 2 stories high and just gigantic. I can move these huge pieces of furniture, huge pieces of sets in and out. So we're waiting. It was like, she was like 2 hours late. And they called from the gate saying, Miss Taylor's arrived. A huge soundstage door slides open. This white Rolls-Royce Phantom drives in with Flight of the Valkyrie blaring out of speakers for the outside, not for the inside of the car. So you could hear it outside the car. It was for us, not for her. Pulls in, parks into the soundstage. The chauffeur gets out, opens her back door. She gets out full. If you ever remember those White Diamonds commercials, you know, the hair, the big Elizabeth Taylor hair, the diamonds, the white gown. She gets out fully, and she was wonderful. She was so warm and nice to everyone. Had time to speak to everyone. She spoke to all the crew, all the guys up in the rigging, the lighting guys, the sound guys. She spoke to everybody. She spoke to me. I was just an agent there with this model. She talked to me, she talked to everybody. She was wonderful. No diva behavior, no attitude, interacted with everybody, just as warm and wonderful as you could be. I mean, because she didn't have to be. She didn't have to be a diva. She was Elizabeth Taylor. She didn't need to prove anything to anybody by bad behavior. She was absolutely wonderful. Now, the second person I'd like to talk about is Meryl Streep. One of the best known actresses there is right now, multiple Academy Award winner, decades-long career. If anybody had a right to throw attitude or whatever, she could be as demanding as she wanted to be because, you know, she's Meryl Streep. She showed up. She was the most wonderful person you could ever want to work with. She was warm. She spoke to everyone. She interacted with everyone. She hung out. She was willing to try different things we asked her to do. She wasn't worried about how it would make her look. She was funny. She was charming. She had time for everyone. And, you know, people, they're doing press for she was doing press for a project. They have to do this day after day. It's contractually obligated of them. They're not doing it for fun. They're not doing it because they want to. And it has to be incredibly tiring because they go on these press junkets. They ask the same questions over and over and over again, day after day. And I imagine it gets very wearing and very tiring. But she showed up and she was absolutely wonderful. Some days after these press things, I would leave and just be like, my God, I never want to do that again, because some of the people were just so difficult to work with. She was amazing. And I just went home thinking, I just spent the day with Meryl Streep, because she was absolutely wonderful. But again, she didn't have to prove anything to anybody. She was so confident in who she was and what she did. She was absolutely marvelous. So those are 2 examples of really great people to work with, great women, great actresses. Won't ever forget those days for as long as I live. So I hope you guys will give me a follow, give me a like, and just remember, I'm a misfit. Bye-bye, everybody.